For the past 5 years, Lena had grown used to the strange feeling that filled her every time she waited for the tram passing the same corner in Amsterdam. Life seemed to quietly spin a story around her, yet that story never fully revealed itself. That evening, the air was unusually calm. A light mist rose from the city's canals, blurring the streetlights. Shadows quivered as if they wanted to whisper something. Lena tucked her hands into her coat pockets and let herself drift along with the piano melody coming from her headphones. The tram was a few minutes late. That's when she noticed an envelope on the bench beside her. Its corners were slightly bent, stained with raindrops, and only one word was written on it: "For you." Lena held her breath without meaning to. The envelope looked old, yet the writing was surprisingly clean and fresh, almost as if someone had placed it there just moments ago. She glanced around. No one was there. For a moment she hesitated. After all, finding a lost envelope in this city wasn't unusual. But the fact that her name wasn't on it, and that it simply said, "For you," broad, directed, personal, gave her a strange sense of closeness, as if someone had meant specifically for her to find it. She reached for the envelope and opened it. Inside was a thin piece of paper. She unfolded it. A few lines were written. "I watch you pass by here every day. Not once have you met my gaze, but I've memorized the storm in your eyes. Don't be afraid. I don't mean to scare you. I just had to put something I've been unable to say onto paper. If you found this letter, fate is on our side. I want to show you something. Tomorrow evening, look under the street lamp 2 steps to the left of this bench. And if you don't come, I will never bother you again." Lena's heart began to race. She struggled not to crumple the paper in her sweaty hands. Was this a joke? Or had someone truly admired her from afar? Or... Then Lena's mind wandered to a possibility far stranger than any stranger's note. The past. 3 years ago, a man vanished from her life. Arlo. Even thinking of his name made a dull ache swell inside her. She had loved him deeply, madly. Arlo had loved her too. Together they had painted the whole city with their dreams. Walking along the canals, their conversations competed with the lights of the city itself. That one morning, Arlo disappeared without explanation. No messages, no calls, no notes, no excuse. Only absence. For a long time, Lena blamed herself. Sometimes she even wondered if Arlo had ever existed. And now, someone had left her a letter. Shaking off her thoughts, the tram arrived. She stepped in and sat in the backmost seat. She tried to reason with herself. Arlo can't be, she thought. Shouldn't be. But as the city lights passed through the tram window and reflected on her face, a whisper persisted in the corner of her mind. What if it was? The next evening, when Lena left work, the air had grown bitter and the wind moaned under the bridges. She walked with a tension in her fingertips, something she, a rational person, wouldn't normally do. She was heading to a rendezvous based on a stranger's letter. When she reached the tram corner, the bench was empty. Only wet stones lay beneath the street lamp. 1 minute passed, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. She let out a sigh. Apparently, someone had played a trick on her. Just as she turned to leave, she caught a movement out of the corner of her eye. A small notebook was tucked between the stones beneath the lamp. She bent down and picked it up. Its cover was black, velvety, worn, like it had been carried in someone's pocket for years. She opened to the first page. The handwriting was confident, yet slightly trembling. "I don't know where to begin. but I knew one day I would regret losing you." Lena's chest tightened. She flipped the page. "This is my journal. Inside, I've written about you, so much about you." As she turned the pages, her hands began to shake. Some sentences felt so familiar. It was as if someone had once whispered the same words to her. She flipped quickly until she came across a page that stopped abruptly. The sentence ended mid-thought. "One day I will return, and when that day comes, I hope you forgive me, because—" The rest was gone. The notebook ended there. Lena held her breath. Who had written this? She stepped back. Then she heard a voice behind her. "So you found it." Lena startled. The voice was warm, familiar, and yet completely strange. She slowly turned around. The street lamp's orange light revealed a silhouette. A tall man, hands in his pockets, head slightly bowed. His breath quickened despite the cold air. As Lena's eyes adjusted to the darkness, his face came into view, and Lena's knees almost gave way. This was no stranger, no ghost. There was only one possibility: the man standing there, Arlo. The man who had disappeared silently 3 years ago, leaving no trace, who loved her most and whom she loved most. Arlo stepped forward. His voice was warm, just like years ago, yet heavy with fatigue. He said, "I want to tell you everything, if you let me." Lena couldn't speak. She just breathed in and out, and in again. There was anger, hurt, longing, but above all, an unexplainable feeling. Something was coming back. Arlo looked at the notebook in her hands. He said, "I've carried it all these years. Every page brings me closer to the day I lost you." Finally, Lena whispered, "Why did you leave, Arlo?" Arlo lifted his head. His eyes gleamed in the darkness. He said, "Because I had to protect you." Lena's pupils dilated. That answer was unlike anything she had ever heard. Protect her? From what? Arlo stepped closer, now only a few inches away. His voice dropped lower. He said, "And now that danger has returned." Lena's heart pounded. Suddenly the night felt colder. The street lamp flickered. The mist rising from the canal thickened. The seriousness in Arlo's face, the hidden shame at the corner of his lips, the fear buried in his eyes, it all whispered to Lena, this was not just a love story. This was the return of a story left unfinished, and the danger was now waiting at the doorstep.